High school football is back. This is ET Final Score.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the final Friday night, can you believe it, of the East Texas regular season, week number 11. Eric Sullivan here for the ETFinalScore.com football show. Jeff Schaefer, Jay Wallace, Chris Perry, and Trevor Peel will all be joining us in just a moment down the road here. Remember, you are a big part of this show. You, the fans, you, the watchers. And the best way to get on this show is to go to Twitter. Follow us at ET Final Score. Send us those scores, pictures, and Vine videos, and we will show them throughout the show. First up, the Robert E. Lee Red Raiders. They needed to beat Naaman Formas tonight. That's goal number one. Then they needed help after that. We'll talk about that in a second. It was senior night for the Red Raiders. Everybody fired up in a steady pour of rain. There he is, senior Zach Hall at quarterback, but it was kind of a hole early on for Lee, pretty much most of the game. Day-Day Thacker doing his thing. Look how far he slides. Field was pretty slick tonight, no score. And then after a Naaman touchdown, oh no, a fumble by Lee. Nehemiah Lewis of Naaman scoops and scores 21-0 Rangers. Defense says we've had enough. Another senior, Braden Coates. Great point of attack right there. Gets the stop. Lee would get the ball back. And Zach Hall is going to get this offense churning and churning. What a great cutback move. Remember, he had surgery just a few weeks ago, and then Lee keeps the ball rolling, gets it to the senior Mason Parker. He always finds the end zone. 21-7, Lee back in the ball game. Hall now on the run, trying to get some points before halftime. Across his body, Ajuan Barker, he has it, and he can get yak yards after the catch. So Lee is in business. Hall once again takes off running, and almost a disaster right here. Loses the ball, but able to jump back on it. They get to about the 3-yard line when the sophomore, not Mason, but Rhett Parker, getting work done tonight. That made it 28-14. Juwan Barker had a big 50-yard touchdown catch late in the fourth. And then, as we check the final score, Zach Hall scored the go-ahead touchdown, and Lee trying to get into the playoffs. Here's what, 41-35. Chris Perry coming up in a moment. Here's Rockwall. They needed to win for Lee to be good. They did do that. Saxe needing to beat Rowlett. They're leading in the fourth. Let's get Chris Perry on the phone right now from Rose Stadium. Chris, real quickly, what's the latest on the Saxe game?
Unfortunately for the Robbie Lee Red Raiders, Rowlett came back to win 44-34. So that eliminates Lee with the multiple tiebreaker situation. It was a three-way tie for third place. It goes down to points. You immediately eliminate Lee for third place, so then it's head-to-head between Saxe and Garland. Now Garland, since they beat Saxe, they get third place. Lee gets thrown back into the tiebreaker for fourth place, and it's head-to-head now between Lee and Saxe to determine that tiebreaker, and Saxe defeated Lee to start the season, so Lee is on the outside looking in this season, unfortunately.
Chris, you were there. I was there for the first half. Not much defense at all, but we need to talk about what a comeback by this team tonight. They never quit.
Yeah, it was a fantastic comeback, and the defense really deserves a lot of credit because there were a lot of things that went against Lee. I mean, a roughing the punter penalty in the end zone, which after Lee's defense had stopped Naaman Forest, they drive all the way down to the 40. I mean, Naaman Forest has nothing to lose. They would like nothing more than to spoil Lee's season and get their first victory. So they're going for it on third down, on fourth down, on fourth and inches. On third down, they make a play. Fourth down, they make a play. Then Lee scores. Then they get the ball back. They've got to stop Naaman Forest again. Braden Coates makes a great tackle to force fourth down, and then big old John Samples knocks the ball down to give Lee the ball back. And you could just feel as soon as Lee got the ball back with about a minute to play, Naaman Forest, there was nothing Naaman Forest was going to do to keep the Red Raiders from scoring. And Zach Hall coasts in the end zone, and they win a thrilling ball game, and it's a great way for the seniors to complete their careers at Robert E. Lee.
Hey, Chris, let's touch on that for a moment. I mean, this is Coach Piskey's first senior class, and I know the disappointment of not going to the playoffs hurts, but I honestly feel, in my belief, Lee's on a better track because of this senior class, and of course, Coach Piskey.
Well, they've taken them from the doldrums, and they're now moving them forward, and that's one thing that this senior class can take from what it was able to accomplish. I know these guys wish that they could get to the playoffs, and they wanted to break the duck and get a playoff victory. But like I said, they've moved this program forward, and now it's up to see with the next class and the next group of guys if they can continue things.
All right, Chris, we appreciate the time. You outstanding job covering those Red Raiders, and I got a feeling you'll pick up another team starting in the playoffs next week. Thank you very much there, Chris. All right, we do have highlights of the Longview Lobos. Not have them in just yet. Let's check the score in this one, Jeremy, if we can. Of course, Longview trying to just get rid of this one against Hallsville. They do 63-20, and with what Marshall did tonight, here we go. They take care of business. Marshall Mavericks do as well. The next scoreboard, please, guys. 39-0. So there's a logjam here in that district with Marshall, Longview, and Texas High all finishing tied with the same record. And speaking of Texas High, here is their final score tonight, 35-3 over Mount Pleasant. Pine Tree, good win at the end for them to end the season on a high note, 55-41. Let's get to Lindale next. The Eagles have been so close, and they've been fighting all year long, but they had to get a win tonight over White House to help them get a shot into the playoffs, but they had to get some help as well. Let's get to the highlights from Eagles Stadium. Here we go. The Cats have not won a district game all year. Montana Metter early on. He finds his man. That is a touchdown in this one to Kendrick Price. Big play. Coach's son to Kendrick Price. So it's an early lead for Lindale. White House fights right back, though. Tanner Roach, what a rocket arm. And there is Shamar Smith. Oh, the kid just does work every single Friday night. That would make it a 7-6 ball game. That's right. Give him a chest bump right there, guys. On the kickoff after Lindale regains the lead 14-6, here is Shamar Smith once again, 95 yards away. Nobody for the big, big touchdown. 14-12, your final score at that one. Way to go, Shamar Smith. But could those Lindale Eagles get the job done? 41-25, they do. So congratulations for the Lindale Eagles. We'll check some scores in just a moment. All right, for the JT Lions, they, of course, have already clinched the 16-5A district, but didn't want to have that hiccup before going into the playoffs next season, where I'm being told they'll play Texas High over in Shreveport. But tonight at NAC, no problem, 28-16, your final score in that one. Congratulations to John Tyler sweeping through the district. They are victorious. Lufkin and Jacksonville, let's get to this. Lufkin and Jacksonville, let's go to that score, please. 50-6, we knew Lufkin would win that one, and there's Ennis doing the Lindale Eagles a big favor, 23-21, your final in that one. All right, let's shift to Taps tonight because it was a big one over at the Clyde. Home of the Grace Cougars hosting rival TK Gorman. The title of best private school in the city on the line. Also a home playoff game in the number 2 seed. Both teams run out and are ready to get going. So expected a lot of offense, but the defense controlled early. Michael Goodwin, don't see this very often, intercepted by Josh Spitzer. Way to go, Mr. Spitz there. Back comes the crew. They respond. Christopher Wilhelmy, he's picked off by Peyton Fanning. These two quarterbacks had hardly any interceptions going into the game. And here's Goodwin finally breaking loose in the first quarter. He would slide or dive down. That guy never slides. Gets it to the 30-yard line. The crew would not score on the drive. Second quarter, we get some points. Christopher Wilhelmy willing his way into the end zone. It's 6-0 Grace with the lead. That's the score at halftime. Third quarter, Gorman now up 7-6. Wilhelmy breaks another one and finds the end zone. Look at him diving in there. Way to go, young man. 14-7 Grace, but Gorman would respond. Good one to Martin Guzman. He slips out of the tackle, and look at Mr. Guzman go. Not all the way, though, 14-13, but the Cougars would answer in the fourth quarter as Mason Dacus, kind of the go-to guy for the Cougars when they need yards, and that is just brute strength right there. And just before that, Goodwin, boy, up top, but he is going to be picked up by Blake Holbrook. That's what we call a pick six in the business, folks. That would make it 27-13, and the Cougars are getting that home playoff game next week, and they are top team in private school in the city of Tyler, 34-14, your final. With reaction from the Cougars' big-time win tonight over their rival TK Gorman, Jeff Schaefer was at the game and has this post-game report on the Cougars.
Thanks, Eric. The big private school matchup we've been hyping all week long, and a big win for the Grace Cougars, 34-13 over TK Gorman. And really in that second half, the turning point was the guy on my left, Blake Holbrook, came through with a pick, returned it for a touchdown. That gave Grace a 2-score lead. Blake, talk to me about kind of what you saw on that play, and then as you returned it for a touchdown.
Our defensive line did a great job getting pressure, and our linebackers had help underneath the post route. And I think the defensive line may have tipped it, and I just got under it and had great blockers ahead. And I punched it in there.
Did you feel like that kind of pushed you over the top a little bit?
Yeah, I definitely did. The whole sideline just tackling me at the end right there. Yeah, I definitely felt like a game changer. So
just talk to me about what this win means over a rival like TK Gorman. I know you guys know the guys on that other sideline pretty well.
Yeah, it's a great win, especially on senior night. Hopefully they'll win their first round game, and so will we, and we'll play them again in the second round of the playoffs. That'd be awesome. So.
All right, well, Blake, thanks so much. Congrats on the win. Now the guy on my right, he played a pretty significant role in the victory, too. Quarterback Christopher Wilhelm. Hey, Christopher, talk to me. Just about early on, this game was really a defensive struggle. It was hard to get things going on offense. Did something change? Did something click in the second half for you?
Well, it did. We made some halftime adjustments at half, and we really came out and we thought we could move the ball against them. And the offensive line did a heck of a job. They were opening up holes everywhere, and we were able to protect the football and move it down the field.
All right, well, Christopher, thank you so much. Congrats on the win. Good luck in the playoffs.
Appreciate it.
So the Grace Cougars with a big private school win over their Tyler rivals from TK Gorman. The Cougs are going to host a playoff game next week.
Thank you, Jeff Schaefer. As promised, Longview at Hallsville tonight. Longview trying to finish tied with Marshall. And, of course, Texas High in the district early on. It's going to be Michael Ross heading off to Braylon Anthony. How easy is that right there? Flies down the field for the long touchdown. First score of the night. Lobos looking good. Then it's Anthony again breaking free. One thing you know about John King, running the football is top priority. Look at him cut it back to the middle for even more yards. In fact, he takes it all the way for the touchdown. Longview, no problem tonight. They get the victory over Hallsville in this one, 63-20. Glad we got those highlights into everybody. All right, we've got to take a break here on the etfinalscore.com. Bryson, zoom into that bad boy. It is the etfinalscore.com live scoreboard. Everything you need to know. And, of course, hit us up on Twitter at ET Final Score. We'll be right back.